everybody's like, what are they gonna do? What are they gonna do? And all of a sudden they come pulling out and got on the cars and kind of just crept over them like slow as ever, but the place went electric. I mean, everybody just freaked out and we were all cheering, thought it was the greatest thing ever. It was just totally cool. And to see that and realize how far it's came since then is pretty crazy, because everybody was on their feet, the whole place, and it was a pretty close to sold out crowd, you know, it was pretty awesome. It did start to take off, but still they were more a side act because it was truck and tractor pullers and the mud boggers and all that stuff were more the main thing, and then they had monster trucks on there, and then they started evolving it into a monster truck show where they had the trucks and tractors as the side, you know, the extra act or whatever you want to call it. And then monsters took over even more, and they brought quads in and motocross guys and that sort of stuff. Like nowadays it's freestyle. Back then it was racing, but it was weird kind of racing. You'd race down a straightaway turn, they'd hook a sled to you, you'd drag the sled, you'd turn, they'd unhook, you'd drag, you'd go over a couple cars, and then you'd hit the finish line. I mean, they had the weirdest tracks ever.
Here we go, watch out, watch out! Broke the front tire off of it right here in front of me. He has just destroyed the left front tire.
And I kept going to these shows where they had mud bogs, and we'd enter the mud bogs, and they would have monster trucks there. And we always looked at the monster trucks like, man, we could build one of these. It's just the same as what we have, just bigger stuff. It's bigger tires, it's bigger parts. We can do this. We could build something like that. It'd be no big deal. So my dream from being an off-road racer guy, I said, you know what? This is what we're gonna do, because monster trucks is obtainable. We can do it anywhere, just make it, it'll be cool. We can just drive around our yard, whatever we're gonna do. I never had a plan to go full-time and do this as a career. It was more just for fun. A couple weekends a year maybe, take it up to the sand dunes. Who knew what was gonna come of it? So we built that tube chassis, got it done, and started running. That was the first time I jumped the truck. Thought it was a huge jump, and it might only been that tall. It was test and tune day behind Bergeron's. It had been the fall of '96 because we started running in '97.
I was 5.
You were 5 years old?
Yeah.
Awesome.
How's that make you feel?
I was 3.
Excellent. My first show at the Silverdome, there wasn't freestyle yet. It was still just racing. I came, I did a qualifying pass. I had Tom Mentz in Monster Patrol. First round, he beat me, and that was it. That was my whole show. I was done. There was no, hey, you get to go out and jump a bunch of stuff. You get to go do donuts. I wasn't one of the guys that they had doing that. So it was really weird for me, but cool at the same time, just being in my hometown, you know, home state, at the biggest dome that we have in our state, being at the show, being there as a fan, and now being there as a monster truck guy is pretty freaking awesome. As the years went on, I got to run more because they turned from just racing to racing and freestyle. So they made it 2 competitions. So if you screwed up in racing, you freestyle. And I usually screwed up in racing here. I never had good luck. And then when it started the freestyle, I never had good luck. I'd roll over on the first turn. I'd hit the first jump, break a wheel off. I mean, so many bad things would happen.
We come out here to put on a good show for Pontiac. I'd like to done a few more hits, let you know what it's all about. But this is what happens when you get a little wild.
So I never really won anything here in the beginning. Finally, I don't know how many years in, maybe 10 years of doing shows here at the Silverdome, year after year, coming, and they would do 2, sometimes 3 shows a year here. And sometimes I would get both shows, and it'd be a headache trying to pass out tickets. And we've done as many as 2,500 people that I've passed out tickets to. Personally, stacks of tickets in my hands this big to pass out to fans and friends and sponsors. So 10 years into my running at the Silverdome, I actually lucked out and won one here. But it wasn't because I did a great run, it was because everybody else sucked that bad. So it was depressing to win with a crappy run, but I took that trophy anyway, brother, and I ran with it because a win is a win, and I got one that says Silverdome on it, so I was pretty excited. When they decided they were going to close it down and build Ford Field, I was at the show. It was probably the biggest show they ever put on here because it was closing down of a building, and it was awesome. And I did really good. I was happy. We did autographs till past 4 in the morning that night, which was insane. For me, it was okay because my shop hours are usually midnight to 4 or 5 in the morning anyway, so we're used to being up all night. But for the other drivers, you could see they were trying to fall asleep. It was bad. Didn't think that it would turn into me owning 4 trucks and having the, I guess what you say is the empire that we have. I figured it would be just some kind of hobby, you know what I mean? It would be something small, something exciting, have a good time with it. But I'm on TV, I'm on a million DVDs, video games, remote control stuff. Hot Wheels makes toys of us. I mean, it's so freaking big, it's unreal. It's celebrity status, even though we don't look at ourselves as celebrities. We look at ourselves as just the average Joe that's having a good time racing and having fun. Once I started doing it, my friend Chris Bergeron that helped me build mine was heavy into mud drags. We'd haul the monster truck and the mud dragger in the same trailer going to the summer shows. And he kept seeing how much fun I had, and I wasn't getting muddy and I wasn't getting all crappy like he was getting. And he says, you know, let's build one for me. So I said, all right, you know, let's partner up. We built one for him. We hauled them both in the same trailer, but he owned his and I owned mine. That started the whole Team Scream rolling with the 2 trucks. And as time went on, our trucks got more and more beat up. That we both said to ourselves, if we're gonna stay in this game, we gotta build state-of-the-art, something better. So we both built really kick-ass trucks, got them together. It was like 2008, we debuted them. But the old trucks were still decent to run, but not be as competitive, but they did awesome freestyle still. So we said, you know what, the guys that have been helping us build them, we can put them in trucks. So we ended up making it a 4-truck team. So it worked out great. Well, then Chris eventually wanted to retire. I took over his end of it. I bought him out. So then I own 4 trucks. Right now it's awesome because I have, in my opinion, the best team ever. Michael, Brad, and Corey all do a great job for me. I give them free reign. Our team's about running hard as we can and kicking ass. We're not worried about parts breakage. We're not worried about it. I tell them, you run it as hard as you want, you do whatever you want. Just be there to fix it. It's all I ask. I'll make sure we got the parts. I'll make sure we got the stuff, but be there to fix it. So the team is awesome where it's at now. I'm getting up there in age. I know I still got 10 years left in me, but I have kids that are working their way up into succession. My one son, Chris, really wants to drive bad. He wants to become part of the team. We're building a new truck right now for me to get into. So we're gonna have 5 trucks. So my original Avenger, the one I started with, we're gonna keep it still alive as the truck my son can drive, to do some exhibitions at shows, to kind of get his feet wet with the industry. And if he's really good, then he's in a seat and I can sit on the sidelines and watch some of the time, but I'm never gonna get out of it because the thrill for me on driving a monster truck is the biggest thing about the whole thing is driving it. Not owning it, not standing next to it, it's driving it. It's having fun, it's jumping cars, doing donuts, doing all that craziness. So I'll always get in. I'll be 80 years old and still climbing into a monster truck and jumping something. It'll be like, hey, he's got a cameo appearance and that's all he's gonna do. Or he's gonna be do a one-hit stunt, or he's gonna do something and that's it. Because the kids are gonna take over, my crew's gonna take over. They're gonna run them and they're gonna keep running them hard, and they're gonna keep the Team Scream name and Avenger Racing, you know, rocking it out, because that's what we're all about.